Hi everyone, good evening. It's Adam Harris here. It is Saturday the 6th of February 2021. I'm looking at the global indices. I hope that wherever you are, you're healthy and safe and warm and not in this rain and cold weather that we have with apparently a 70% chance of snow. So starting off here with I'm going to go to the NASDAQ first and have a look at the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, pretty happy. It really wants to test that 13.6 level and potentially higher. Not overextended on the daily. Overall, looking pretty bullish. Just a very quick observation, bearish divergence on both of these, meaning we've got a higher high here, but we have failed to have a higher high on both the MACD and RSI. Usually hints at failure, weakness, and exhaustion in price action. I also wanted to mention here, this is a bullish engulfing candle, which is usually obviously quite a bullish signal. So that's going to be interesting to see how we respond to that. We are overextended on the monthly, and we do have a bullish candle heading up towards 14,000. So plan A for me is really going to be to see this attempt to work its way up to 14,000. It's going to have to get through 13.6 and so on, but it may just want to complete 14,000, just to round up everything. There are signs of exhaustion happening in here, so any deeper corrections or shock waves that happen where there's a deeper correction than expected, kind of like this, where we end up breaking some lows, is a possibility. Right now it looks as though the market overall is, other than the monthly, which is quite overextended, the weekly looks good, daily looks good. So I'm leaning towards the upside with caution, but overall, so there could be some good intraday opportunities. The Dow here coming up into just past this 31,000 level. It's running into resistance. I'd like to see it break through that. Again, also a weekly bullish engulfing candle, looking pretty good. All of this really supporting hunger. There's definite appetite in the markets. I want to see it get through that. Also just noting here, again, RSI and MACD just trending lower, just means there is, without a doubt, some exhaustion coming into the markets. Whether it's going to be this week or not is getting a bit tricky to tell because the price action is bullish, indicators are a little bit bearish. S&P, bang on to a new high, continue, same thing here, look again, RSI, lower high, MACD, lower high, definite exhaustion, vastly kind of bullish engulfed the last 3 weeks. That is generally, I think, could be fairly accepted to be a very bullish signal, and the monthly overextended away from the moving averages and a bullish candle. Okay, so what does it mean to me in terms of trading opportunities? Trading with caution. The market is, price action, as I said, is bullish. Weekly is not that bad, daily is not that bad, monthlies are heavily overextended. So if there is a deeper correction, it's really that monthly that's beckoning. It's not the weekly or the daily. They are not in a ridiculous state. It's that monthly that's saying, listen, I need to take a bit of a breather. And so I'll just trade with caution. But for the moment, I expect it to attempt to get to 3.9 and wow, potentially 4,000, which doesn't look that far away again here on a monthly basis. So that's going to be interesting to see if we can achieve that without any of that exhaustion kind of coming to the bubbling to the top and taking it down. Russell 2000 has just been this outstanding performer. Again, it's a bullish engulfing candle. It's ridiculously overextended on the monthly time frame. On the daily, it's starting to enter a bit overextended. Otherwise, any kind of pullback here could provide me with some potential buying opportunities. And so this one actually being, I think, an underappreciated chart. I think next to the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000 is offering some of the best potential trading opportunities for me intraday during the week. Looking at the FTSE, so heading away from that, we have produced a bit of a swing high, so that daily looking like it wants to head back down and test 6.3. We did climb a little bit high this week. We have produced a weekly bullish candle in an otherwise kind of uptrend. And so actually a break of the high of this, especially getting back up above 6,550, would be a great sign. It would indicate that the market is going to head on back up to 6.8. This is interesting. That monthly candle was nice and bearish. We haven't strictly speaking broken the low of it. So I'd like to see that disregarded. I'd like to see the market go higher. I think if the market had been incredibly weak, we would have just followed through and just broken through on that. So the market is leaning bullish, certainly with regards to the potential for stimulus cash coming our way, general optimism as though there's some stability returning back to the US and therefore back to global kind of economics and cash being put out there. There is some optimism. We're entering into spring as well, which sounds kind of odd, but generally with spring, there's a little bit of optimism as well. So overall, it's just not that unreasonable. The markets might be able to take a bit of a, they've had a bit of a correction on the weekly. They've recovered very nicely from that quite aggressively. I spoke last week about, did the markets, did they hold the line and produce a bullish candle? And not only did they, but the candles themselves were incredibly aggressive and quite bullish. They were engulfing candles for the most part. All of that really just signaling an appetite for movement to the upside. Very nice to see the DAX here continue higher and not fall back through this level of resistance. So again, supporting, just leaning that little bit more bullishly, a little bit more bullish than bearish. Here we've got a higher low in the weekly and a nice little bullish candle. Again, back up over that key level, monthly level of support and resistance. Back above that, freeing it to head back up to 6,000 on the French CAC, so that looks good. Stocks, Euro stocks, got to get past this level of resistance at 410. That's a nice bullish candle. If it's going to do it, now is the time for it to do it this week. See it break up above and get back up. So if next week we've broken above these highs on the weekly, that is particularly good. That puts it in good stead to try to head on to 420 and 430. The Nikkei coming back into resistance here. Weekly candle, all looking good, but there is a definite level of resistance here. I want to say at 29,000, but call it 28.8, 28.9. It's well overextended on that monthly, but again on the weekly and daily looking good to push a little bit higher. The S&P and ASX in Australia, again, bullish engulfing bar that engulfs, wow, going all the way back to, I want to say even December. There we go, all the way into this first week of December. So that is particularly interesting to me. Also disregarding these kind of a bit of exhaustion showing in here, and there's some potential level which is at 6.7 of weekly resistance. Looks like it really wants to keep going. Again, that daily pushing on a little bit high, even past local resistance here at about 6.830. So all of those just showing a distinct interest in trying to climb a little bit higher, not wanting to give up just yet. Having had a weekly correction, that's really good. It's just that monthly that concerns me. You can see here, look at Tesla. Again, you know, nothing necessarily wrong with the underlying value of the company and what it provides, but the price itself is potentially just due for a correction whenever that does happen. Consolidating for several weeks now, and actually that means that a consolidation will stand it in very good stead. If it does decide to climb higher, it'll be just the same as a weekly correction versus a monthly. But at some point we are going to have to pay the bill for that monthly moves, those monthly moves. Okay, Apple had a really nice correction here as well, also looking nice and bullish. In many ways, Apple looking very keen to kind of push a little bit higher. Just noting that MACD, a little bit lower high, a little bit divergent, and a bit flat on the RSI. So a bit of exhaustion there. But otherwise, across these markets, there are just just a vast number of bullish signals on the daily and the weekly. Some exhaustion coming in on the daily indicators, and then monthly being overextended. And those two are connected. The exhaustion showing up on the daily is as a result of the monthly being due for a bit of a breather. So that just means that in terms of trading opportunities, for intraday opportunities, the direction for me is to the upside at this point in time until I see a bigger correction where perhaps maybe the market, if we go, for example, back to, say, the NASDAQ or the Dow, the S&P, if suddenly I see the market come back and break below these lows or have a very aggressive drop, all of that then supports the idea that perhaps that monthly correction is starting to come into place. But otherwise, until that point, I'm looking to be a buyer looking for shorter term moves to the upside. There we go. Everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you very much.